going. God dang, God dang, God diggity dang. Michael Gebben here, your mind mechanic. Tuning up your heart, your mind, one at a time, so your ideas do not die on your heart, your head, or your hard drive, or in it, or on it, or over it. I don't know. Today, we're going to talk about a quote from a man, Alex Hormozi. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. Just type him in on YouTube, Alex Hormozi. Friend of mine introduced me to him who worked for him. And yeah, great stuff. A quote he has, it's money only solves money problems, and then you're left with the problems that money can't solve. And he's reached a state where money is of no problem. And one of his other lines is, let's make active income cool again. And that really passive income is just on a continuum of this aspect that to the degree that someone has, say, a course business, I mean, it depends on to what level you've built something and then to your desire to actually step away. But so many people, there's so much confusion there because most people are still active. Certain investments don't have to be active, but there's so many things that are still very active. But I want to bring up the quote about money only solves money problems, and then you're left with the problems that money can't solve. If you've got a relationship problem, friend, family, mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, business partner problem, you can get therapists, you can get coaches, you can get consultants, you can get people that can help facilitate, mitigate, help you through that process. But at the end of the day, it still is something that if all the money in the world came, you see it all the time. People who have gone to therapy, they still get divorced. They still break up. And it's because you just can't always throw money at every problem. We see it. There's been studies, there's been stats. It depends on where you live. I get it. But there's a number between, 50 to 125,000 that gets thrown around a lot. A lot of times I see 75,000 where really people reach certain levels of income, and by and large, their happiness does not dramatically continue to increase at high levels. And one thing that I've found with the work that I do that is really just continuing to become more and more clear every day is that I used to only help videographers only, and that was the only people I really did anything with. It's the only people I thought I could even remotely help. And I initially never really helped them overall with the technical side of things. I always made it about business. That's really, really important. They learn about business because when I started, I didn't really know anything about business. And all I learned about was all the cameras and the technology and the gear and all that stuff cost money. And then I started to learn about business. Well, that definitely increased my income. I can't say that my income didn't increase focusing on business. But the part that was left out for a long time was the spiritual, heart, not hard, but heart part, the spiritual, the inside, the soft skills. The majority of that was just something I didn't have lots of examples. I didn't have language around. I didn't have words around. I didn't have thoughts or ideas around it. I didn't know what was going on. And so I know that I can earn anything that I want and be happy now. And I'm not associating what I'm about to say, which you have to watch. If you have things like money doesn't grow on trees, money's the root of all evil, or a version of what I said, at the peak of my income at one point in time, I was the unhappiest. So if I have an association that a lot of money equals pain, then I may sabotage ever having a lot of money again because I don't want to be in that pain. And so what I've realized that my real work, the depth of my work that I've done on myself and then I help others with, is that what you don't want, and I think what a lot of people have achieved or are attempting to achieve and working their way towards, is that you're working all on the external, working only with the outside of yourself. And so what happens is when people get materialistic success, whatever that means to you, or you make a lot of money, but you haven't worked on it from an internal game first, because you can make a lot of money and not have all the woo-woo, the inside, the touchy-feely, the soft skills, the hard skills. You can make a ton of money without messing with any of that. I don't want to sit here and ever act like you can't, because you most definitely can. But what will likely happen, which happens at all levels of these income ladders, is that the problems that money don't solve, which were usually the inside problems of feeling inadequate, the self-worth, the self-esteem, the value you see in yourself. A relationship with a brother, a sister, a wife, a husband, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a friend, a business partner, a colleague. That at times, no matter how much money you have, some people might even associate that the relationships get worse rather than get better. And so there's this weird relationship with money. But what I've seen is my ultimate goal is to have you have peace now. If you don't have any money, now. If you have a ton of money, now. Because then no matter what you do, it's a cherry on top. It's the icing on the cake. Because otherwise, if you continue to build, leaving that part out of it, you'll be chasing things and wondering why you're not satisfied, why you're not content, why you're not happy, why you're not fulfilled, why you're not having fun. Because the tactics, the strategies, and the money, yes, having money is better typically than having no money. I'm not sitting here helping people live in a cave or in the woods and camp and need $500 a month to survive. That is not what I'm talking about. But what I am talking about is chasing money and external things as a solution to problems that money won't solve. Money solves getting food, shelter, clothing, a car, gas. If you got random bills that pop up, not having to worry about those, medical. Like, look, there's a lot of things that having the money 100% solves. But there are a lot of things that even with the money, and no matter how much money you have, and that's the thing I saw in some, like, they won't get it if you've never had the money. You always hear people, oh, it's easy for you to say when you're looking at somebody who has a lot of money and you maybe never have had that. So you think, screw that person. My biggest problem is that we're associating it all with money. But Alex here, if you watch some of his content, you know, he reached a place where, and I've seen this a lot in higher entrepreneurs, and they usually don't know who to talk to because people who aren't where they are, like I've done this in another prior jumpstart, like when you don't get it, you don't get it. If you, and you typically don't get it if you haven't lived it. So a lot of people just, I can seek to understand, but if I haven't experienced that, I don't really get you. I don't really understand, right? Now there's various levels that we can be on. And so for him, he reached a place where he does what most people teach. This is where the making active income cool get. He's like, I like to work. And there's so much pushing on people to not have to work. When really at the core, it's choice to do what work you want to do rather than the work you feel like you have to do or that you should do, but rather what you want to do. That's what we want. But it's not to not do anything. It's not to sit around and literally stare at the wall every day. And most people who achieve any level of financial success did it through levels of action. And not always, but a lot of times when they really do well and there's also fulfillment, they're doing something that they love and have fun with. So the act of getting to a place where then you remove all that you did to get to where you got to so that other people take care of everything so that you can do what you want. Then at times what happened to somebody like him is then what do I do? Like, I'll break the thing if I get involved. Right? But so rather than setting up a new business to remove himself from, he's setting up a business to be in the sweet spot, to be doing the things that he enjoys doing. And that's what I've had to recognize in my life. And I want to share with you is that there are so many things that the chasing, I just had a guy that I work with just had the breakthrough. He's like, you've been talking to me about this for 2 years and I just didn't get it. And it's like, we're chasing and chasing and chasing. And on certain levels, the chase never ends until you realize that what you're chasing likely will never be satiated the way you're trying to fill it. There's a hole inside of you that you're trying to fill with things that you can only fill doing the work, doing the internal work. You can't fill it by more money, buying more things, and having more stuff. I'm not saying don't have things and don't have stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're feeling inadequate, dissatisfied, unfulfilled, unhappy, right? And you feel that money will solve that when you can then have status because you have the car that says you must be worth something, the house that says you must be worth something, right? The watch that says you must be worth something. There are people right now who you'd never know that they are extremely financially wealthy because they do not give off the signals that says that they are. And some, not all, have reached a place to where that inadequacy that a lot of us feel, and that I have felt many times in my life, they don't care. They don't care what you think. They don't care what words you're going to say to them and judge them because they choose to still drive. In fact, Alex has a video where it's like he was at a thing that was, you know, all his coaching clients were there, and he pulled up in this beater Prius or something that was all beat up and 90,000 miles and a dent in the side. And they said, I thought you were rich. All right, so automatic judgment is that this guy has the money that he gives off and we're putting the math together and maybe he says or whatever. He wouldn't be driving that. And he was just like, yeah, but you should see my bank account. And people can judge whatever you want to say about that, but like, not that he and I and others don't still deal with these insecurities, if you will, but there's a power to knowing that you are powerful without anything but yourself. You're beautiful, you are powerful, you are amazing, and you are enough. Then to me, you get to that place no matter where you're at right now and practice that. The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, because now you get to chase. I don't even use that word. You get to do what you want to do. And you're not doing it to prove to other people. You're not doing it to feel worthy, to feel worth something, to make sure that people know that you're something special. But you just want to do what you want to do, and you want to have fun doing it. And you're satisfied now, and you'll be satisfied later. That's it. That's it today. Is just know that I've experienced it. I've coached people who've experienced it. I've observed people who've experienced it. That, yeah, we all need money. And I'm not about just, let's just get by in life. I'm totally about abundance. But I've experienced all realms of my bank account being at all different numbers. I've been with the fanciest of fanciest people. I've, I traveled to incredible locations, exotic locations, places I'd never likely get to go to because I didn't have the money at the time. Just all sorts of things. And I've never felt the sense of peace and satisfaction, and a level of contentment with where I am, and knowing to be grateful for what I have simply because it's what I wanted. And going through that in a place of self-awareness rather than always chasing, reaching what you're chasing, but then chasing something new because you don't feel like that must not be it. When it's exactly what you did want, and now that you got it, you don't want it. And so I've been very aware of that. And I think what it is for me is that active income cool again. It's like, it's because for me, it's about doing what I want, but it's not about doing nothing. And so there's that aspect that it's just filling your day with the things and the people that you want in your life. But it was taught for so long by marketers and entrepreneurs about like, remove yourself, get yourself out. And I think that it gets so confused what that really means. But a lot of people don't talk about, are they happy? Are their relationships good? Where is all of that? It's just make more money, make more money, make more money, make more money. Money solves all problems. It solves a lot. It's better to have than to not have in most situations. And it makes life a lot easier in a lot of areas. But again, there's certain areas that it will not solve the problem. And if you keep trying to fill that unease, that hole inside of you with it or other things, as soon as those things aren't there, the hole's still there. It's like taking certain medicines and certain things that just mask the problem. They don't fix the problem. Sometimes it's fine to mask things. Maybe that's all that needs to be done. But I know in my life, it's been a hell of a lot easier to fix the problem at times than it is to just keep masking it. And then from there, I I don't need these other things. And the external world isn't constantly dictating my internal world. And I'm so grateful I did this work, because COVID and everything that's happened over the last few years, I can't imagine where my headspace would have been if I was in a different place mentally 3 or 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, 8 years ago, and all this had happened. But by and large, I guess it's like the guy at Lowe's that's my friend's dad that told me in 2008, saw him 2021 and hadn't seen him since. And he said, you told me that you refused to participate in the downfall of the economy in 2008. I didn't remember that, but he sure the heck remembered me saying it. And I guess that's the thing now, you know, I refuse to allow all that's happening outside of me to continue to dictate what's going on inside of me. So hope that's helpful. If you're on Facebook, give it some likes and love. Let me know in the comments how you doing. Let me know what resonated, what was an insight, what was a takeaway, or send me a message. I appreciate you so much. If you're here somewhere else listening to this, send me a message and leave me a comment, leave it a thumbs up, leave it a download. I don't know, whatever you can do, wherever this is at. Keep rocking, keep rolling. Michael Gebben, your mind mechanic, tuning up your heart, your mind, one at a time, so your ideas don't die in your heart, your head, your hard drive. This is your daily jumpstart, and keep rocking, keep rolling, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.